I request our executive committee members, I request Meera Bhatia madam to kindly come forward and present a bouquet of flowers to our chief guest, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Lodha.
ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट से रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है ना आर्मी के अरे दादा रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है ना
I request our Joint Secretary, Dr. Sandeep Singh, to please present a bouquet of flowers to Honorable the Law Minister and welcome him, please. I request Shamshravish Rain, Executive Committee member, to please come and present a bouquet of flowers to Honorable, to Learned Attorney General for India, please. I now invite our Vice President, Sir, Mr. Shankar, to please welcome our guests.
Respected Honorable the Chief Justice Lodha, the judges of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Law Minister, Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, the Attorney General of India, Mr. Ranjit Kumar, the Solicitor General of India, the other law officers, Mr. P.H. Parikh, our President, and his entire team, Mr. Shivaji Jadhav, President, Advocate on Record Association and his entire team, eminent Senior Advocate, Mr. Surabji and Mr. P.P. Rao, Mr. B. Datta, the Secretary General and his team, the team from the print and the electronic media. I, on behalf of the Supreme Court Bar Association, welcome you all on this great occasion when the whole nation is celebrating the 68th Independence Day. Celebrating and greeting, interact with people by our elected representative. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Number of legislation which have been enacted remains as a piece of paper but does not truly reflect the aspiration of the people or need of the society. We want the Law Minister to consider this and before coming out with any legislation, take the input or interact with the stakeholders. Now, the real issue concerning us, that is the legal fraternity. There are so many legislation concerning us, our institution. We the stakeholders are never called upon, nor any input is taken. And even if in some stray cases it is taken, it is not reflected in the legislation. Our fraternity has contributed a lot in the past, and we wish to contribute more in the future. In the last 2 weeks, there has been a hue and cry on two legislation. One is the new Supreme Court rules, the other is Judicial Appointment Bill. I am sorry to say that our fraternity, who are the major stakeholders, were never called upon to give input or give valuable suggestion. The way both pieces of legislation was being rushed through is a matter of grave concern. It's a different thing that both the piece of legislation will have to meet the challenge in a court of law, but I feel it would have been better if the bar was consulted when it was in a draft stage. I do not know why there was a great hurry. Heaven would not have fallen if the bar was consulted on both these legislation. I think still we can make amend. It's my request about the Chief Justice and the Law Minister to consider our request and respond and share their viewpoints when they address us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the welcome address along with the red flagging the issues also. I now request our learned Attorney General for India, Mr. Rohatgi, sir, to kindly come and give his address.
The Law Minister, members of the dais, judges of the Supreme Court, retired judges, eminent lawyers, dignitaries, and friends. I think we've already heard the speech of the year So I don't know what's the great point of speaking here. That's number one. Secondly, somehow the others, we forget the importance of days like Independence Day, or for that matter, Republic Day. Standing here and thinking of what it would have been in 1947 makes you feel humbled, small and puny if you consider people like the father of the nation, one man who led an army without anything, without resources, without guns, the whole country behind him to topple the mighty empire, assisted by people like Sardar Patel, Nehru, Azad, and so many others. So it just kind of makes you feel that, we are today in a very small, isolated world, going about our way, going about our things and thinking that we are very important and very officious. But if you see from a larger perspective, you realize how small we are and what great was the contribution of millions of people led by what, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 5 dozen people who led an undivided India where you wouldn't have got freedom without arms, God knows, for the next 50 years.
Thank you, sir, for that extremely insightful address. I now request the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Praveen H. Parekh, to kindly give his address.
Independence Day to all of you. Honorable Mr. Justice Lodha, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Prasad, the Law Minister, Justice Kehar, Justice Thakur, Justice Kehar, Justice Lokur, Justice Gowda, Justice Kurian Joseph, Justice Bobde, Justice Arun Misra, Justice Goel, learned Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the Additional Solicitor, Mr. Deepak Verma, Justice Deepak Verma, Mr. Sorabji, Mr. P.P. Rao. In fact, I can mention the name of each one of you, but let us have a dimming fiction that I have mentioned the name of each one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this function when we are celebrating our Independence Day. Attorney General is right. This morning I saw on TV, and I saw some of the judges there. Of course, the Chief Justice was there. The speech of the Prime Minister was excellent. He has covered a lot of subjects, and one way for me is to say I adopt that speech because now there's a public property and we can all adopt it. Now, the sacrifices which were made to achieve independence, it was not done by, it was done by large number of people, small, big, from villages, from towns, from different sections of society, and they have given up their lives, they gave up their liberty, and they fought for this independence. So we should realize the value of this independence, that it has not come to us. They had to take it back from a mighty British Empire. And what they have done, we should remember today. And sometimes I wonder that we are not even looking after to remember them. Their monuments are lying as just dilapidated condition. There's some of their descendants who need some help, don't get any help. Then since our constitution provides justice, social, economic and political, a lot of burden is placed on the bar and the bench by our constitution, because the duty is given by constitution to us to reach out to people. Of course, our public interest litigation has reached out to people who could have never thought of entering the portals of the court. But there are a lot of things. Today you hear every day, you read every day in the newspaper, the rapes. I mean, there is not a single day when you don't have the rape on the first page of any newspaper. The bonded labors, you find people being sold, a young girl being sold for 100 rupees for prostitution. And this is all, it's all right, it's known to everyone because it comes on the front page of the newspapers. What are we doing? Have we given any rights to them? Do they have any rights? The families are purchased by the builders and for life they are sold. They'll get 1 meal a day, perhaps not even 1 meal, and they are working now. Are these all not realities, and are they independent? What are they getting from this independence? And it's very, very important that we think of the people whom we have promised that in independent India you will live in a better way than you used to live earlier. In fact, we must give credit to our government. Each government has surrendered the power when they lost at the election. our election committee, our judiciary, our media, whatsoever people may criticize, but media has played a very, very important role in maintaining our democracy. Our election commission, our army, which has never any ambition to take over the power from the elected representatives. So we have done a lot, but there is a lot to be done. And today, we sitting in this building, the bar and bench should take a vow to do our best to achieve the real independence to each and every person, especially the downtrodden people. Let us rededicate ourselves to do that, and that will be a correct celebration of Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I feel compelled to quote one quote from Max Müller, the German scholar. He said, "If I were asked under what sky the human mind has most fully developed some of its choicest gifts, has most deeply pondered on the greatest problems of life, and has found solutions, I should point to India."